Coming up on Valley View News, employees at Amazon may be leaking data in exchange for bribes. Plus, 3 million people have been evacuated as a typhoon moves through Hong Kong. And the FDA approves the Apple Watch 4 to screen your heart rate.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Brian Baruman.
And I'm Sammy Shakta.
Amazon is investigating some of its Chinese employees who may have leaked data in exchange for bribes. Sellers are believed to have offered money to Amazon employees to remove negative reviews. Internal company data might also have been sold. Amazon is investigating similar bribe cases in the U.S. Los Angeles remains in the running for Amazon's second headquarters.
Women working at McDonald's restaurants nationwide walked off the job to protest for sexual harassment. Workers in 10 cities, including Los Angeles, organized a lunchtime strike. They say sexual harassment complaints at McDonald's are ignored by managers. Some workers say they're mocked for complaining. 10 people filed a lawsuit in May with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The suit blames McDonald's for allowing harassments to continue. McDonald's defends its policies, but is partnering up with 2 outside firms to help create new sexual harassment rules. Strikers want better training for managers. They also want a national committee to prevent sexual harassment.
Coca-Cola might be joining the cannabis industry. They want to produce a cannabis-infused drink. Coke said it's closely watching the growth of a CBD, a non-psychoactive component in marijuana, which is used for medical purposes. They would market the beverage as a functional wellness drink. Experts say Coke would develop the product first for Canada and then move it into the U.S. once it's legal. No final decisions have been made, but Coke says it believes in the global potential for cannabis products. Cannabis and CBD are illegal in the U.S., but the use of CBD isn't always prosecuted.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is accused of sexual harassment just days before the Senate Judiciary Committee was to vote on his nomination. College professor Christine Ford came forward saying Kavanaugh pinned her to a bed while trying to move her clothes at a party in the 1980s. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway says Ford deserves to be heard.
She should not be insulted. She should not be ignored. She should testify under oath, and she should do it on Capitol Hill. But if that's up to the Senate Judiciary Committee, they need to decide the forum.
Kavanaugh and Ford said they're willing to testify to Congress about the allegations.
The Webb County, Texas sheriff said a U.S. Border Patrol agent was charged with 4 counts of murder.
There's probable cause to believe that this individual is responsible for this series of murders, which I would qualify as a serial murder.
Juan David Ortiz was arrested Saturday for the deaths of 4 women. Another woman escaped and called police. Ortiz confessed to the killings, but the sheriff isn't ruling out more victims. Ortiz's motives are unknown, but officials say he was profiling women who worked as prostitutes.
Hurricane Florence slammed against the Carolina coast last weekend, killing 20 people, including a 1-year-old. Elizabeth, North Carolina, had the most rainfall in the state, totaling nearly 36 inches. The storm left hundreds of people stranded. 900 crews from around the nation arrived to help the victims. 19 members of the Los Angeles Fire Department arrived to assist and rally.
Students who are involved in educational programs show more confidence in their academic achievements than students who are not involved. Valley View News reporter Chris Farias tells us more.
Educational programs are developed to improve graduation rates among students from underserved communities. Experts says sometimes high school faculty aren't motivated enough to push students. CSUN's EOP senior advisor Ernesto Cruz expresses hope.
That one counselor or that one faculty or teacher in high school that always doubted them, and the goal is to improve them and to give them hope and to go to university.
EOP is just one of many programs offered to qualified incoming freshmen. CSUN's Alyssa Perez talks about what she learned in her high school leadership program.
So leadership helped me coming into college by being prepared with time management and knowing what's like the right priorities, basically. And that's what college basically is. You need to have good time management, know what your priorities are.
Students who join educational programs show a higher graduation rate than those who don't. Cruz says educational programs are a first step to success.
Sometimes we might not have the needs, right? We might not have that that assurance, or we're not ready, or we feel that we're not ready. Then that's okay. Just go and explore. Just try it. It is not going to hurt at all.
These are just some of the college programs used at CSUN to help college students transition in an easier way. In Northridge, I'm Chris Farias for Valley View News.
The Trump administration can be considering enforcing public change, law for non-citizens. Valley View News reporter Jesus Mendez has the story.
a legal permanent resident can seek public benefits after 5 years. A proposed executive order draft under the consideration by the Trump administration apparently punished those who break the law by getting assistance before 5 years. Daniel, a legal permanent resident for 5 years, spoke to us, but didn't want his identity revealed. He says he used public benefits in the past after he experienced difficult times.
I had to use public benefits because I was hospitalized for several weeks after an accident. I lost my job and I had no money to pay for my expenses.
He's currently in the process of becoming a U.S. citizen, but fears immigration can deny his application on his next interview.
I am scared to know that because I use medical and food stamps, they can deport me.
Immigration attorney Sean Potts says a public charge is grounds for denying citizenship.
The person, if they're considered a public charge, meaning that it's someone who, based on their circumstance, it looks like if they were to immigrate to the United States, they would be a drain, economic drain on society.
Potts says if the Trump administration proposal is signed and enforced, many people can potentially be affected.
Is that it could subject you to a ground of inadmissibility that would challenge your legal status, could make you removable, or also could prevent you from naturalizing.
In a statement received from the Department of Homeland Security says the federal law requires immigrants to support themselves financially. The U.S. government enforces all federal laws to ensure fairness to the American people. While Daniel waits for his interview, he says he'll stay positive, hoping to be successful.
Quiero ser optimista y pensar que mi aplicación será aprobada.
Trump has signed several immigration-related executive orders. The result, experts say, it's making it harder for immigrants to gain legal status. In Northridge, Jesus Mendez, Valley View News.
Social media is helping Angelenos find new foods. Valley View reporter Melanie Rosales has more on the story.
People are making their way into a diverse and delicious food market in Los Angeles. Smorgasburg LA is known for its Instagram-worthy foods and a place where business owners can find more revenue.
We actually had Skechers shoes and Four Seasons Hotel that found us on Instagram, and then they came here looking for us.
Among the rows, you can find over 60 food vendors that bring out the city's creative food culture. This has been able to help revive a part of LA that was non-existent for many years, but now have people eager to try the newest food trends.
The food so far has been amazing. When I first walked in here, I got some oolong tea, so I bought that over there.
Many of the vendors are using this space to start their franchise and make it something that people haven't tried before. Although it might be competitive, vendors are making their mark every Sunday, making customers make the line worth the wait.
You will find concepts that don't have storefronts simply because the creators and the chefs behind those concepts want to start just doing their thing and making people eat their food.
Smorgasburg has become more than just an outdoor food festival, but a place where people in LA can network and try new food. I'm Melanie Rosales in Santa Monica for Valley View News.
People around the world celebrated Mexican Independence Day, Sunday, September 16th. 3 anniversary celebrates Mexico's independence from Spain. Thousands gathered in East LA for parade, music, and traditional dances. Celebrities and city council members also attended. This is one of the oldest parades in the U.S. Independence Day is a national holiday in Mexico.
It's time now for all of the news and entertainment. We're here with Daria Hariri.
Thank you, Brian. It was a marvelous night for the cast of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. The show won 5 Emmys, including Best Comedy Series. Rachel Brosnahan won her first Emmy for Best Lead Actress on the series. Amy Sherman Palladino made history by being the first woman to win Outstanding Directing and Writing for the Amazon series. Game of Thrones took home the Emmy for Best Drama Series. The show was ineligible for Emmy nominations last year due to the timing of the 7th season premiere. The show has 22 nominations, which is the most any show has been nominated for. Matthew Rhys took home his first Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama Series, The Americans. The show ended its 6th season back in May. Harry Winkler and Bill Hader won Best Supporting Actor and Best Actor for their work in HBO's Barry. Claire Foy won Best Actress in a Drama Series for The Crown, while Fanny Newton won Best Supporting Actress for her work in Westworld. Saturday Night Live won Best Variety Sketch Series. Lorne Michaels produced the Emmys, while SNL's The Weekend Update's Michael Che and Colin Jost hosted. Other cast members Kate McKinnon and Kenan Thompson performed in the opening number with their longtime friend Andy Samberg. And of course, it wouldn't be the Emmys without some surprises. Rumors have it that it was Donald Glover with makeup prosthetics before his costume change. And to top off the eventful night, the annual show witnessed a marriage proposal. Glenn Weiss won Outstanding Directing for a variety show, The Oscars, but it's safe to say he also won Best Marriage Proposal at the Emmys.
Jan, I want to put this ring that my mom wore on your finger in front of all these people and in front of my mom and your parents watching from above. Will you marry me?
The Human Rights Campaign gave actress Anne Hathaway its National Ally for Equality Award. She was awarded for her LGBTQ support the community.
I love the dignity that accompanies self-acceptance and the way our collective humanity gets expanded when one wrongfully marginalized community says, we are human beings, there is enough room here for all of us, period.
Hathaway says all genders need to be recognized and respected. Oprah Winfrey helped honor first responders in the Montecito fires with a new United States postal stamp. Law enforcement, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel who worked at the Thomas Fire and January mudslides were recognized. Winfrey is a Montecito resident.
The stamp is merely a symbol of what the spirit of each of you represents. Each of you represents the best of us. You represent the rising of courage, the rising of honor, the rising of compassion, endurance, survival, and thriving.
The stamp, which has a police officer, paramedic, and firefighter on it, is now available for purchase. The Predator is a ranked number 1 in the box office. It still didn't make as much as the previous Predator movies. The Predator made $24 million during the weekend. It only earned an estimate of $30 million overseas. The Nun came in second. It was the scariest fest in the Conjuring series. Comedian Robin Williams will never be forgotten in San Francisco. That's because a city named a meadow after Robin Williams. Robin Williams Meadow is located in Golden Gate Park. Parks and Recreation says naming the meadow after Williams is the final step in renaming the former Sharon Meadow. The area will be a popular grassy spot on the east end of the park. Golden Gate Park is where comedians had held comedy lounges since the 80s. That's all for your entertainment news. I'm Daria Hariri.
More to come on Valley View News. Besides Carolina, Mother Nature is also wreaking havoc in the Asian regions as well.
And we'll learn more about a football player who announced his retirement mid-game. Plus, a wrestler is hoping to become a role model in the LGBTQ community. Stay with us.
I've come up with a family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
Look at these boots.
Man, those are nice. You should buy them.
Half the price of the real thing. Do you want them?
The production and sale of counterfeit goods cause more harm than meets the eye. And the profits can fund organized crime.
So, do you want them?
Buying counterfeit products
No way.
is just not worth it.
Our campus newspaper, The Sundial, has been working hard on all sorts of stories.
For a preview into the next issue, here's Sundial Editor-in-Chief Agustin Garcia.
Hi. So last week, the Sundial published a story on a protest that happened last Thursday about Executive Order 1100. And in that story, students talked about their concerns about the removal of Section F from the general requirement. Later this week, the Sundial is going to have a more into-depth story about the subject. And that's it for the Sundial. Back to you guys.
Let's hear from reporter Catherine Molina in our newsroom.
Typhoon Mangkhut killed 54 people in the Philippines. 49 people are missing. Dozens of those are affected by the typhoon, believed to be minors and their families. The storm moved towards Hong Kong and China. As Mangkhut reached southern China, 3 million people moved towards safety. The evacuation started after winds reached 107 miles per hour in Hong Kong. Many homes and businesses were destroyed and left without power. 4 people died in Guangdong before the typhoon headed west into Guangxi. The Trump administration revoked visas for the Palestinian envoy and his family. Employees of the Palestine Liberation Organization told they had until October 13th to vacate the premises. PLO executive Hanan Ashari said this decision goes against all diplomatic protocol. Last week, the White House said they'll close a PLO office in Washington. The health department in Queensland, Australia, issued an alert after several people found needles in strawberries. The government offered a $100,000 reward to anyone with information leading to an arrest. The health department recalled 3 brands of strawberries: Berry Obsession, Berrylicious, and Donnybrook Berries. Contaminated strawberries were also found in the state of New South Wales. That's it for international news. Now back to you in the studio.
It's been a few weeks of intense football. Here's reporter Branton Benitez with more to come.
Thanks, Sammy. Buffalo Bills cornerback Vontae Davis pulled himself out at halftime. He changed out his jersey and announced his retirement before leaving the stadium. The 10-year veteran signed with the Bills in February for $5 million. That deal will now be almost fully revoked. Critics are wondering why he couldn't finish the game. Teammate Lorenzo Alexander shared his thoughts on his now former teammate's surprising move.
Never have seen it ever. Pop Warner, high school, college, pros, never heard of it, never seen it, and it's just completely disrespectful.
The former Pro Bowler posted a statement on Instagram. He says his injury history and his inability to continue fighting led to his decision. Another week, another record set in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Steelers in a shootout ending 42-37. Chiefs' second-year quarterback Patrick Mahomes had another impressive outing. He's the only quarterback to throw for 10 touchdowns within the first 2 regular season games. He's also the youngest quarterback to throw for 6 touchdowns in a single game. They head back home to face the 49ers in Week 3. Shifting over, the Rams are off to another great start this season. They shut out the Arizona Cardinals 34-0. Star running back Todd Gurley made it to the end zone 3 times. Quarterback Jared Goff threw for 354 yards to go with a touchdown and a pick. It was a great day for both of LA's starting running backs. Chargers running back Melvin Gordon matched a career-high 3 total touchdowns in their victory against the Buffalo Bills. Chargers defense showed why they are one of the league's best. Rookie quarterback Josh Allen was sacked 5 times and threw 2 picks. The Battle of Los Angeles looms, next with the Rams taking on the Chargers at the Coliseum. All-Pro receiver Josh Gordon's relationship with the Cleveland Browns is at an end. Browns general manager John Dorsey announced Saturday the team will move forward without the troubled receiver. Browns traded Gordon to the New England Patriots for a 5th-round pick in 2019. The veteran wide receiver hurt his hamstring during a non-football activity and showed up late on Saturday. He was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2012 supplemental draft. Gordon had been suspended 4 times in his career, 3 of those for violating the substance abuse policy. Browns are citing trust issues as the reason for the sudden separation. He has played in 40 out of a possible 96 games in the 6 seasons since being drafted. Gordon is 10th all-time with 75.8 yards per game, ahead of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. College football's 3rd week saw a few more upsets. Number 12 LSU Tigers beat number 7 Auburn with a field goal as time expired. Cole Tracy kicked a 42-yard field goal to give the LSU Tigers the edge over the Auburn. The game finished 20-21. Unranked BYU beat number 6 Wisconsin 24-21. This was Wisconsin's first non-conference home loss since 2003. The Badgers had a chance to tie the game with 41 seconds left. Badgers kicker Rafael Gaglianoni missed a 42-yard field goal. Number 22 USC Trojans visited the Texas Longhorns. The Trojans were overmatched and now have to regroup after a 14-37 loss. Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger came up huge for the Longhorns. He threw 2 touchdowns and ran in another. A wrestler is looking to become a role model in the LGBTQ community. Valley View News contributor Mario Saucedo has more.
Kenny Marquez is the first openly gay SoCal Rookie of the Year. Marquez says he wants to be a role model that people in the LGBTQ community can relate to.
When I was younger, I wasn't hearing that. You know, I felt a lot of pride hearing things like the first Latino this, the first Latino that, but I knew that there was something more to me that made me different.
Marquez grew up in a Catholic household. He says growing up, he feared that his older brother would reject them because he was gay.
It bothered him when I would do certain mannerisms or say certain things that may have implied at the time that I could have been gay. And he would make certain comments like, if you came out, then I would do this, or if you came out, then I would hurt you.
Despite this, Marquez has found acceptance from both his family and friends. His best friend Daniel Robinall says his peers at the Santino Bros Wrestling Academy welcomed him with open arms.
Like, he can just tell me anything, say anything. Like, there's times where he looks at guys and he's like, oh, that guy's hot, and he tells me. And I don't really mind because it's like, you know, he likes guys, so there's nothing bad about that.
Marquez says this isn't his last first. He says he wants to be pro wrestling's first openly gay world champion. From Los Angeles, I'm Mario Saucedo.
Marquez has an upcoming fight this September 29th at Imperial Beach Sports Park in San Diego. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Coming up on Valley View News, iPhone prices are as high as ever.
Also, a community stands together to help each other after they're affected with a gas leak.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
You made this vacation happen, cleverly merging promotions,
double points with every purchase,
and cross-referencing travel sites. Aloha! If you can ace your vacation, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff is buying Time magazine for $190 million from Meredith Corporation.
We're traveling the world. We are meeting with the heads of state of major countries. We are working at every aspect of a society, and CEOs get it. They know what's going on, and they can make a difference. They can have impact, and I think what we don't want is for them to feel like that they have to be extracted to only work in their companies.
The deal is expected to close in the next 30 days. Now here's Isabel Ochoa with social media, tech, and health news.
Thank you, Brian. Apple released a new FDA-approved watch that can test your heart rate. 3 new heart-related features come on the Apple Watch 4. An alert is sent if your heart rate seems to be too low. If your heartbeat has an irregular rhythm like atrial fibrillation, the watch will alert you. It can also call emergency medical services and send paramedics to your location. Hurricane season has just begun, and many people are facing mandatory evacuations. However, some people don't know what to do with their pets during hurricanes. The nonprofit organization Hurricane Pet Rescue tells pet owners to take certain steps to prepare for a natural disaster. They say owners should keep safe their pets' medical records, make sure they're microchipped, and stock up on the pet's medications. You should also keep a pet emergency kit with a week's supply of canned food or dry food as well as water. Pack leashes, collars, and a sturdy carrier with familiar bedding. Include favorite toys to help reduce stress for your pet as well. If pet owners don't want to evacuate with their pets, there are pet-friendly boarding places available. Clemson University in South Carolina and news organizations in Virginia and North Carolina compiled a list of shelters accepting pets. The Senate is taking up legislation to target the opioid epidemic. Democrats and Republicans support the bill. Tennessee Republican Lamar Alexander says he wants the 5 Senate committees to work quickly with the House to reach an agreement by September 21st. The legislation would give the FDA permission to require specific packaging for opioids. It'll also encourage research for non-addictive painkillers. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said in 2016, more than 63,000 Americans died from overdosing. Half involved opioids. The STOP Act is part of the legislation. The act helps end the illegal transfer of drugs into the U.S. President Trump tweeted last month that the opioid epidemic is killing children and destroying the nation. The release of the new iPhones has faithful customers waiting in line to get the latest piece of technology. Apple increased iPhone prices each year since 2007. However, some iPhone users didn't mind paying the hefty prices. Apple will sell its most expensive iPhone ever, the iPhone XS Max. It sells for $1,099. For extra memory, the price goes up to a whopping $1,449. One analyst said Apple has been testing how high they could raise prices in the last few years. They also discovered that customers have an appetite for more expensive iPhones. That's it for social media, health, and tech. Brian and Sammy, back to you.
People in Massachusetts are stepping in to help after a gas leak broke into dozens of homes. 1 person died and 25 were injured. The community has come together to help those in need. Home care nurse Melissa Campello is delivering medication to her patients as roads block her from getting into town.
That's what I got into nursing for. I don't want anybody to die, so do what I can to help out.
The owner of Carlene's Coffee Shop is offering free coffee.
They're all local customers and no one has power, and I have a couple propane tanks and coffee.
Residents were given the okay to return home yesterday.
That's all for us at Valley View News. Thanks for watching. I'm Brian Baruman.
And I'm Sammy Shakta. For news any time of the day, go to our website, sundial.csun.edu. See you next week.